I failed and it fucking hurts. So I think even you, if you're watching this video, can relate to that feeling of failing over and over again at something that you really want to overcome. Perhaps it may be a challenge, or perhaps it may be a goal that you want to achieve. Yet, for whatever reason, no matter how hard, no matter how many times you attempt, you still keep on failing, and it fucking hurts, man. It really does hurt. So, like, whether it be a habit, whether it be a goal, whether it be something that you want to overcome within yourself, a personal challenge, something that you want to do in order to succeed, for whatever reason, you still keep on failing. And that happened to me just a little while ago, hence why I made this video, hence why I'm making this video. It's like I've been trying to do this specific thing. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I've been trying to do this thing for the last couple of years. This personal challenge that I try to overcome, this personal thing that I do my very best to overcome, but for whatever reason, I keep on fucking failing, and it hurts. I have failed close to 1,000 times by now. For whatever reason, I just can't do it. And I think if you are watching this video, to a certain extent, you can relate to that feeling of failing over and over again. You haven't given up yet, but it feels like you can't give up because it'll make shit even worse. You keep on failing over and over again. Deep down, you want to give up, but you also want to succeed, so you're kind of stuck in this place, in this prison, where the only time you get out of it is to try to succeed, but you end up failing and going back in. It's like the saying, if you don't succeed, try again. Like, if you don't succeed, try again. And at first I thought that was a great saying, but now, after I failed so much of times, I realized that it's kind of bullshit, because it's not. It really is bullshit, really, because if at first you don't succeed, it's not that you try again. It's that you learn from your failure. You analyze what went wrong, and you analyze what went right. You do more of what's right, and then you do less of what's wrong. That's it. You don't try again, because trying again implies that you do everything again the same. You do everything again without changing anything. But if you do that, you'll never fucking succeed. You have to change things up. Each attempt should be slightly different, or should be completely different, because that's the only way you can actually succeed. If you fail, you have to analyze what went wrong, analyze what went right, do more of what's right, do less of what's wrong, and only then can you actually succeed. But the thing is, even if you do that, there are some challenges that are so difficult for us that no matter what we do, we still fail. And it's not because the challenge is impossible, because it's not because the challenge is impossible, because the challenge that I'm trying to overcome has been done by other people before. So it's not because it's impossible, but it's because of me. And I'm not saying it's because I'm weak, or there is that aspect to that, but I'm not saying you fail because you're weak. Well, in some instances it is because of that, but if you consistently fail over a long period of time, over hundreds and thousands of times, like I have done, it's maybe not because of it's maybe not because you're weak, but rather maybe it's because you're looking at the wrong place, or you're going about it the wrong way. And the main reason why I'm making this video is because I just had that light bulb moment. The main reason I have failed so much up until this point with this very specific challenge of mine is not because I'm weak-willed, or it's not because I'm like weak, or like not because I'm not strong, but rather it's because I have been going about it the wrong way. Like this entire time, I thought the only way I can beat this challenge is if I, in a sense, like imagine if you're trying to fight a dragon or a dinosaur, like a giant beast. Up until this point, the main way in which I went about it is by, you know, grabbing a sword and shield and like rushing straight at it, and perhaps, you know, dodging its attacks and like, you know, trying to chip away at its head and like, you know, eventually try to kill it. That's what I at first thought was the best way to go about it. But now I realize that it's actually not the best way to go about fighting a fucking dragon. Because it's a dragon, what the fuck do I think I was going to do to it? Now I realize that going at it and chipping away at its head with this fucking sword, a little tiny dagger like this, is not the best way. There are tons of other ways to do it, which would be much more easier to execute and much more practical. And the realization that I came to is that if there's a dragon in front of me, there's no fucking way I'm gonna win with a fucking sword and shield. Like, there's absolutely no way that's gonna happen. The only way that I can actually do it is if I don't know, maybe grab a cannon, a nuke, something like that. I hope you get the metaphor I'm trying to say, because I know it sounds very outlandish, but it's a metaphor and I hope you understand that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are many ways of doing something, and at first, if you don't succeed, change up the way that you initially try to attempt it. And I think that is the most practical way to succeed, because what if the main reason you failed at the beginning was not because you didn't do something? What if the main reason as to why you failed at the beginning is because of the way you went about trying to achieve something? So, is it really a problem with you, or is it really a problem with the method in which you used to achieve that success? Like, yeah, sometimes it might be a problem with you. Sometimes maybe it's because you're weak. Sometimes maybe it's because you're dishonest or weak-willed. Yeah, it can be that. But it can also be because you are going about it the wrong way. Or perhaps it can be both. And the thing is, you would never really know until you actually succeeded, or until you learn from someone who has actually succeeded. You know, you can learn from your own experience, or you can learn from others' experience. And if everyone else is doing this the same way, and they are also fucking failing, like, sure, like if there's a million people doing what you are trying to do the same way, and about 99% of them are failing, but only 1% of them succeed, then is it really that there's a problem with the 99%, or is it really that the 1% are doing something that the 99% aren't doing? The way I like to say it, it's probably because that 1% is doing something that the 99% is not doing. That's it. So why go about doing things in ways that most likely won't work when you can do it in ways that will most likely work? So I guess to wrap up this video, I just have to say one thing, and that is, if you have failed tons of times, millions of times, thousands of times like I have, then I think it's most likely not your fault. It's most likely not your fault because you just went about it the wrong way. Chances are you did in fact go about it the wrong way and you just didn't know any better. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video and see ya. That was a very anticlimactic end to the entire video. Like it was almost like I was building up to something, then I just fucking dropped. I'm sorry. Bye.